Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with the Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we're doing a review impressions of a knife donated to the channel from Nebsig. He donated 3 knives. This is the last of the 3 knives I haven't reviewed. This is the ZT0460. Let's take a look at this guy. Alright, we're looking at the ZT0460. This is a little older knife, but it's a very classic knife. This is a Dmitry Sienkiewicz design. I hope I'm saying his name correctly, right? Dmitry Sienkiewicz. I think that's how you say it. This is an S35VN blade steel. It is with the, I want to say brown or red carbon fiber twill on scale on one side, and then you have the titanium frame lock on the other. And this has the MX Gear titanium clip, which is really nice. It is a frame lock with a steel bar insert over travel stop. It's a flipper. It's a very unique design. I would call this sort of like a Persian design. I don't know if that's exactly what they call it. Some people might have a different name for that name. Yeah, I mean, I call it a Persian. You can tell me if you think it's a different type of knife blade shape, but to me this is very much a Persian style. Now I have large hands with big meaty fingers, and I can get my 3 fingers in here and my 4th finger out here, so it works like that. Really not a choke up here, but it works like this. This angle, this clip is nice and rounded, it's not sharp, so that fits well in there. It's made by ZT. That's Zero Tolerance. That's part of the Kershaw, which is the Kai company, right? So Kai Knives or Kai USA or whatever they are. I have nail clippers from them. They make all sorts of stuff, but ZT is the company. It's a USA-made company. This is made in the USA. The model number is the sorry, not the serial number, but the model number is 0460, which is kind of a unique design. I did put skiffs in this guy, and so once you clear the detent, the action is really fantastic, and it works really, really nicely. Now, this is a unique design that, for some reason, when I first got it, you couldn't flip it. It was so hard to flip because it was a big rounded flipper up here, didn't have any texture, any grip, and it was next to impossible to flip consistently, and I found it very frustrating, especially since it had a lot of potential. It does have a back spacer, which I think is it G10 or is it titanium? I can't tell. That's all titanium. That's the pivot screw and pivot barrel and all that stuff is steel, like as is the blade, which is S35VN, which has nice satin finish on there. Nice kind of a edgy blade there. I did get a nice sharp edge on there. I think I reprofiled this edge if I remember correctly. Yeah, I did. I reprofiled this edge because it was a little dull. So I did do a new edge on there, and I did strop that up really nicely. So it was works out really, really well. The action with the skiffs in there, once you clear the detent, is just really very delightful. Very delightful. Dmitry Sienkiewicz is the designer. It is made in the USA. It's made by Zero Tolerance. It's a USA-made knife, which I think is really cool. I like the carbon fiber. It's got kind of a unique kind of a chamfering there, angled down. It can be somewhat comfortable. I mean, it's a weird shape looking knife. Some people are going to be really into this. They're going to love this. I did not only put skiffs in there, but I did put jimping on here. This was just too easy to miss, and it was very frustrating. And I wanted to try to put a little bit of jimping to be able to take advantage of this beautiful flipper. And I'll tell you what, it made a huge difference. Just one line of jimping on something like this can make the world of difference. From being very frustrating to not. Here's my RH Tasca 2. Love this knife. I did a couple things on this thing. It was super sharp here, so I sanded that and then really sharp back here, and I sanded that, and then I re-anodized that with my own heat flame. And the cutaway in here was very, very tight and very sharp. It was a very strong lock bar, so it's hard to get my big old meaty fingers in there, so I did do a little extra cutaway here, better access to the lock bar, and that really helped as well. And then the flipper up here, which I constantly slip off of. I put one line of jimping right on the very edge, and that's all it took for it to just be able to consistently grab that flipper and not feel like you're going to miss it. It keeps you where you need to be and keeps you in contact with it, which is the night and day as far as my enjoyment of it. And so I just want to point that out. That's what I did over here. Now I put an extra couple of lines, so if you want to get in a little further, you have even better connection. But if you're just on the very tip, you're still going to have some connection. You'll get it. But you know, if you're in here, it's not fail. You'll be solid. So if you have glove, calluses, you'll be good. Very nice knife. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's locked in place. It was dead nut center. It feels like it's a little to the left right now. Yeah. You know, okay, so here's the thing. You look at the blade tip, it's dead nut center. You look at the blade shape, which is not perfectly uniform, it appears not dead nut center. Now, if I get the blade where it's centered and I don't look at the side, try not to look at the two here. If I do this, yeah, it's a little bit to the left. I had fixed that. I don't know if there's a little pivot play or not. Easy to fix, not a big deal. I don't know if it's just from flipping it and carrying it and it got loose or something, but super easy to fix. You put a little piece of paper, loosen the pivot, tighten it up. Like I said, once you put the paper in there, you tighten it up here and loosen the body screws, loosen this, put a piece of paper. If it's facing this way, put it on this side to push the blade that way. Tighten up the pivot, tighten up the body screw. Then once you have it in place, then untighten the pivot, take the paper out, go back and put the pivot to where it should be, and it should have shifted it to the right just a little bit. And that's what I did before. So easy to fix, but I mean, for a free knife to be given away, this is a pretty nice little knife. I will say it definitely appears, it doesn't seem to have a lot of use, which is nice, which means it's relatively new and unused. It's really good shape. It is S35VN blade steel, so it's the older version. I know some of the newer ones came out in different steels, so definitely kind of cool. And it has that unique carbon fiber, which is an older one as well. I think that carbon fiber, what do they call that carbon fiber? It's called bronze twill carbon fiber, and then stone washed titanium scale here on the back. Captive pivot, T8 there, T6 is over there. Bronze anodized titanium clip here, this MPG, MXG gear titanium clip, which is really nice. So, all right, opens and closes with a flipper. You got to make sure you pass the don't get in double clutch, and all you got to do is just get past down here like this. You pass the double clutch and it drops nicely. So if you can kind of do one-handed, as long as you know you're all the way down here, then you're clear. It works well. It's a good flipper, especially with the jimping. I noticed some of the other versions of this knife, they actually had some jimping already on there. There was no jimping whatsoever in this version. I don't know if this is an older one. The serial number on this guy is 8922, so I don't know if that's an early serial number compared to the other ones. But the other ones did have jimping in some of the pictures I saw online. This one did not, and I added it, and I think it's absolutely worth it. I think anybody who likes jimping and who wants to be able to flip it consistently will really enjoy that. So this will be a giveaway for the big 10K giveaway. That's thanks to Nebsig. So thank you, Nebsig, out there for your gift to the channel. I have not forgotten. It's been here, part of the big 10K giveaway. We moved really, really fast for a while, and then we slowed down a little bit to 9K. Now we're kind of picking up pace again. So, you know, there's no consistency, and I just consistent. Rob's Nerdy Knives. I'm a nerd. Keep nerding away. Gonna be the same old nerd all the way through, so we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. I don't live in controversy. I don't try to push the envelope. I don't try to do crazy wacko stuff to tick people off to get views. I do my thing. I do my knives. I love knives. I'm just gonna keep doing this. So appreciate you guys who are part of it and like that and like this kind of review. So that's what we're gonna do. Materials we talked about, Loctite we talked about, it is frame lock. How it opens we talked about, how it closes really nicely, especially with the skiffs. The blade we talked about, it is a satin finish on there with a little stone wash here and a satin finish on the blade. Does have a nice edge now that I reprofiled that edge, new apex. It's really nice. Nice thick stocky blade, definitely with a long thin point. Definitely have some hardiness to it as far as usefulness for cutting, especially with that kind of a bow, big bellied kind of a blade, so that's going to be nice for that. So if you're doing cuts, you can kind of roll the cuts and stuff. That's nice. S35VN blade steel is a pretty good steel. I think it's one of the better steels out there. It's very, very balanced. It was specifically made as knife steel like S30V was as well. So S35VN is another version. I think Hinder Knives worked with Crucible to make that version of the S30V. Wanted some different properties, just like S45VN is another version that they kind of even tailored it a little bit more. So those are different iterations of S30V. All right, let's do some measurements on this knife, see what we got, how heavy it is. It's not super heavy, and I think I did weigh it in the unboxing because it felt super light, but let's give it a gander. 2.4 ounces. It is a super light knife. I think that's pretty cool. 2.4 ounces is pretty light EDC carry for sure. All right, let's see, what are we looking at as far as length from the tip to the back here, where it's exactly 7.5 inches. The grip, the handle, if you go from here all the way out to here, you're 3.5 inches. But one thing I measured last time is I did go from right here to here. So on the inside, it's 4 inches. 4 inches with that really big curve. And then you have another, about another almost 3/4 of an inch out here. So, you know, take it for what it is. It feels like there's more room, right? The blade going from the tip to the handle is 3 1/8 of an inch, but technically the blade itself is 3.5 inches. So people measure it from there to there, but then the blade is from here to here. So you're 3.5 inches. So just keep that in mind. Let's look at the blade stock thickness. What are we at? I don't think it's super thin, but I don't think it's super thick. I think we're going to be at 130 thousandths of an inch maybe. Something's loose back here. Is this loose? Huh. Never noticed it was loose. I did drop this the other day. I hope I didn't break it. Anyways, let's see. 121 thousandths of an inch. It is a little thinner than I thought. So it's not super thick, which is nice. It's got a relatively thin blade stock thickness, which I think is pretty cool. So it it has a flat grind, not full because here it stops up here, but out here it's kind of a flat grind, but it's definitely, you can see it's solid blade. Definitely going to be something you can use. All right, so what knife category? Everywhere I look, the newer versions run around $225 to something. They're above the $200 range. This one was selling around $195 back then. If I've seen anything, they're more. Typically, when you get into carbon fiber with ZT, this would be a $300 knife. So if you find this new, I wouldn't be surprised to see this close to $300, if not over. But everywhere I see this, in the original carbon fiber version, in S35VN, this was running around $200 to $250. So I'm going to say that's the range. I don't know if you can find this exact version anymore, at least not in the copper twill carbon fiber. That is kind of was a limited run back then. So it's kind of a cool knife to be up for a giveaway. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Someone's gonna enjoy winning a classic like this. Sometimes some of those ZTs become classics because they don't make them anymore. So definitely in the regular range between $100 and $300. I think that would be safe. That's what we're gonna call it. Is it an EDC hard use collection piece? Absolutely could be a collection piece, especially since I don't see this one made anymore. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen it for sale like as a new knife. Somebody might have some inventory of it, but it's kind of like, you know, some of those collection pieces now. So certainly could be a collection piece if you're a big ZT collection fan. Hard use, yeah, it's a frame lock. It's going to be pretty solid. It engages at a good 50%. There's no blade play. It's in there solid. There's no pivot lash, right? Yeah. And then our detent clicks in pretty nicely. Let's listen. Nice and clickety. Let's do that one more time. Nice and clickety, no detent lash. Let's see. Nope, in there solid. So I mean, it's a solid blade. You know, so I'd say hard use. You could definitely get in there, lock, cut. Now I wouldn't pry and do all sorts of weird stuff, because use the right tool for the right job. Use a pry bar if you need a pry bar. Use a fixed blade if you need a fixed blade. And use an axe if you need an axe. Use a hammer if you need a hammer. A knife is a knife. It's a cutting tool. Let it be a cutting tool, and it'd be great. It can do hard use cutting tool things, I think. S35VN is good steel. It can handle most stuff. If you're cutting through nails and stuff like that, don't use a knife. Use something else. But I mean, if you have to, you know, it's not as chippy as S90V or S110V or Maximid or Rex 121. It's definitely going to have a little tougher edge. It's not perfect, but it's definitely tougher. It might roll as opposed to chip. So I don't know. Definitely some benefits there, and it definitely could be hard use. Absolutely EDC, especially this nice clip. It's titanium. I love titanium clips. I really appreciate him putting one on. Not a steel clip fan. I hate them. I always bend them For whatever reason, I catch them and bend every steel. It's like I'm magnetically attracted to bending them. But when you put a titanium on, it flexes pretty well for me, and it works really well. So I like that. All right, ergos and feel overall. For this weird Persian kind of design looking blade, it's relatively comfortable. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my design aesthetic, but it works. It's comfortable in hand. Like the whole shape is a little awkward for me personally, you know, because I have to stick my finger out, get my 3 fingers in there, and then, you know, just how I grip around it, it's very thin, and I got big old meaty hands, so it's not the most comfortable kind of knife. I would prefer something a little straighter, a little bit bigger, but definitely a cool knife. And if you're into this design, I mean, it's a cool. It's definitely, I can see it. It's done well. It's really fun, especially with the skiffs in there. I think it works really outstandingly, and I really dig that. Really dig that a lot. So the handles opening closing is really nice, especially as a flipper only, and the flipper works well. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but man, putting that jimping in there really made night and day difference on this knife. I think whoever wins it, I hope you enjoy it because of that. I really feel like it was a big deal. It was super smooth, super soft. I mean, your finger just slipped right off of it. It was uncomfortable, and if you push down, you slipped off, it could, you know, do that pokey into your finger, make it uncomfortable. It was very frustrating, and so I was really glad with what I did on here, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's helpful for you. I like it. I like it at least the little time I've been carrying it and using this knife. Jimping, there's really not a whole lot of jimping except for the jimping I added. I didn't see any other jimping. I mean, I guess you could call this jimping, but it's absolutely non-functional. It's just aesthetic. So no jimping. Textures, there is some texture here, but it is G10, and there's some texture here. It's G10, that's titanium. It's not very aggressive. I mean, it gives you some texture, but not a lot. A little bit of texture in the twill carbon fiber, but again, not a lot. Is there a lanyard hole? Let's see. There is no lanyard priority at all for this knife, which is kind of surprising. So no lanyard. The clip, I love this MXG gear clip. I think it's awesome. I'm glad it was added. Thank you, Nipsig. Opening and closing is really nice. It's really, since I've tuned this, it was a really stiff lock bar, by the way. I think I remember tuning that. You could barely open this. Now you have a cutaway, you have a chamfer here, which is really nice, is what you want. But man, if it's still so tough that you can't open it and it's pushing against your finger, that's not cool. Unless you have super thick calluses and maybe your fingers are numb, that can be really uncomfortable. But if you have that, then you're not going to be able to drop it past that detent. You're never going to be able to drop shut it like this right here. You don't get the joys of that. And so, you know, it's give and take. You tell me what's worth it. But I think it's nice. I think it's nice that I tuned it. I think this is how I would want the flipper. It's still crisp. It's still nice. It still flips really well. And if you really wanted it, you can get a nice crispy super flip in there. It just works really well. So yeah, I mean, I have no issues with it. I think it's where I'd want it. Now, if you don't like it, you can certainly tighten up that detent, but I like it. Overall feel is really nice, opening, closing. Once tuned, once the jimping's put in, once skiff's been put in there, a little oiled, cleaned up, all the good stuff. This knife is outstanding. It's a fun knife. It's going to be a fun giveaway. Yeah, it'll be definitely a fun giveaway. And again, I believe this knife, let's see if we can find it. Yeah, so what I did find real quick, I just had to look again. The price for this knife is around $246. That's what they run for. And if you have the skiffs and you have this, that definitely adds about, I'm going to say almost $50. So this gets you into around the $300 range for a knife, brand new, right? So with everything it's done, and then the jimping, that's going to be a little custom extra. The newer versions that didn't have this copper twill carbon fiber, there was just regular twill carbon fiber, they had the jimping already put on that little flipper. And it didn't look like it went extended all the way to the edge, so it may not have been a really great flipper, great jimping, but I like the jimping on here. I'll just say that. I like it. Hopefully whoever wins it, you like it. I think you will, but I'm not gonna pat myself on the shoulder. I'll get round shoulders, right? That's the phrase, the thing. Don't feel too arrogant. And so, but I think it's good. Hopefully whoever wins it, you let me know. So overall feel is great. The fidgety factor on this thing, I'm gonna give this a 4, solid 4. The fidgety goodness for that 4, I'm gonna give it 100. It's absolutely 100. The fidgety goodness is 100 on here. And I'm gonna say it's a recommended knife. It's a recommended. Is it a favorite? No. I don't like this design. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like this Russian kind of Persian, whatever looking knife. I don't dig this. I know some of you guys love this, and that's cool. Buy what you love and collect what you love, and love and buy what you love what you buy and collect, right? You know, just love it. But this is not one of my favorites. I'm not going to recommend. You know, it's my favorites. I get to choose what I put in there. I don't have to do it for anybody else but myself. This is not one of my favorites. I think it's a good knife. I think this version of it right here is outstanding. I think if this is the best I've ever felt this knife. I've handled this in years past. I never cared for it. But what I did to this with the skiffs and tuning it and then with the little jimping, this is the best I've ever experienced this knife. Still wouldn't have it as my favorite, still wouldn't buy one. But it's great. I think it's great. And I hope whoever wins it thinks so too. So there you go. Let me know what your thoughts are on this thing. What you feel about it. How do you like it? What are your thoughts if you own one or have owned one? Love to hear that. So appreciate you guys. If you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or entertaining, would you please consider hitting that like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button as well? Subscribing and liking my channel really helps me out, really allows me to do more, produce more content, do more things ultimately for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, enjoys the content, is part of the live stream, comments, it's in part of the chat, just part of the whole community. I appreciate you. Thank you. If you haven't already, maybe consider hitting that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. And a big shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate you. You do two amazing things for me. You encourage me. I don't do this full-time. I'm part-time, so I thank you for that. The other thing is because of your generous support, you allow me to do things way sooner than I thought I could. For instance, we do a once a week budget banger giveaway for everybody, and I appreciate that. You help me to do that. You allow me to check out knives that I couldn't otherwise check out because of shipping costs and stuff like that. When, you know, loaners, pass-arounds, I appreciate that. You allow me to just do a lot of things that I didn't think I could do, things that would be delayed, and just makes this channel just a whole lot more fun. So I appreciate that. That means the world to me. As a result of that, I do two things for you guys, for channel members exclusively. Do a once a month members exclusive giveaway. So every week we'll do the Budget Banger giveaway, but once a month we'll have that members exclusive giveaway on top of the Budget Banger to follow the Budget Banger giveaway. So that'll be exclusively for members after everyone has the regular giveaway. So we do that. The other thing, I'd love to give all new channel members a channel sticker and a thank you note. So if you're a brand new channel member, email me with your name and address. I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a thank you note. Kind of applies to anybody who's currently actively a member. And so 99% of the time it's new members. But if you're currently actively a member, you were a member all along and you never asked, or you were a member before and then became a member again and you had never asked for a channel sticker, never got one, email me as well. I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a thank you note as well. It'd be my honor. And I would very much like to just say thank you. If you haven't already, check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.